we continue where we left off with the next chapter of Ultimate Exorcist Kiyoshi. So he officially defeated Yana. Mako's questioning why Sosuke is smiling like that, as he's just happy to the fact that Kiyoshi is also has become a Grand Cross too. We then have the other two Grand Crosses speaking on their own thoughts, where Ono is just highlighting that he's just as strong, no, even stronger than what the rumor says. Meanwhile, Toji is out here fucking fiending the fact that that he would kill to be in a 1v1 with him, and he's the real deal, realer than he ever is, or what people always say. Meanwhile, we get this perspective of Kiyoshi, where it's like, yeah, he completely fucked up, and because he thinks that he fucked up, he's worried now that the fact that he's no longer going to become a Grand Cross, or not no longer become a Grand Cross. He is not going to be a Grand Cross this year. He has to do it next year. And to where Sosuke butt in was like, so he passed because he beat him, right? I mean, those were the agreements based on what Toji agreed upon. As Toji butted in was like, yeah, I guess that's fine. I mean, I did said that shit. But if you want to retest real quick, I'll do it right now. As we see him walk up to Kiyoshi, oozing with, I guess, and that's preset power, some shit. Kakura's Haki, fuck it. He's just oozing with power. Can't wait to go again if he agrees with it. Until he got completely caught by Ono, grabbing by the ponytails. Like, yeah, no, it's fine. He passed too. Okay. Headmaster is thinking about it while Mako and Sasuke is just completely just like he's trying to like sway like the decision of Kiyoshi becoming a Grand Cross. And then we hear somebody off from the distance, that would be Tosaka, begging Headmaster to resign his failure. As he speaks about Kiyoshi is a man who carries the future of the exorcist on his shoulders. And they said, if you have to, you can bear me from ever taking the GC test. But Headmaster is asking if he's sure about shit like that. Are you willing to take that type of responsibility? He said, nah, don't worry about it. I'll pull through. And then he said, well, in that case, the exorcist who passed the GC test, Sosuke Hitsugi, Mako Kusakari, Jinta, I finally find out what his name was, Jinta Kanatsuchi, and Ginsan Tetsuyama, and Kiyoshi Harai. Those are the 5 people who are now officially hereby Grand Crosses. As we see Kiyoshi turns around to Tosaka, Tosaka is just happy that he is officially a Grand Cross so he can pursue his future, knowing that the fact that he may or may not could ever have done who may or may not could ever do the GC test again, but that all didn't matter because head captain said that no, you were so close, and I have hope for you next year. So he's gonna do it again next year. So hey, I'm glad my boy is able to do it. Right after that, we see Kiyoshi and Tosaka on the bench talking to each other, as Kiyoshi couldn't believe that he did all that for him, knowing the risk that it would take for in the future of Tosaka. But knowing the fact that he couldn't just let that happen to Kiyoshi, he was willing to do it despite the risk, despite how big the risk is. So then Kiyoshi asks if he's going back to Dandelion Town, and that's where he responded, well, to be exact. And then we hear his name, and then we hear Tosaka's name getting called out. And it was Toji saying his name, saying that he should pay, saying that we should pay a visit to your new team, as he has get selected to become a part of the special forces that is able to enter in the demon realm. Because after hearing his story, Toshi was motivated, so he was like, okay, cool, you wanna take vengeance on the demon that killed your friend? Bet, come join our crew, we can be stronger. So yeah, he failed the GC test, but hey, at least he gets to become a part of one of the strong members of the team, and he gets to train up to go to the demon realm to take vengeance. So it's a win-win. Meanwhile, we see Sasuke and his crew sliding in, congratulating or to give props to Tosaka, and he couldn't wait to see him at the top with him. Kiyoshi then thanks Sasuke for doing what he did in the GC test for him to pass to become a Grand Crossing, but Sasuke is trying to be all nonchalant because, you know, he's trying to make sure that they stuck to his word. And this is where Maki slides in, was like, you just can't be straight with him, can you? Mako was a little bit impressed with that punch that he gave Yana. A little bit too impressed, to the point where she feels like she's in love with Kiyoshi. But Kiyoshi is fucking nervous because he ain't really ready. He ain't really ready for all that. You know what I'm saying? Mako says, say hi to Akari for me. As she walks back to the group. And this is where Tetsuyama Tetsuya highlights, now I see why you were able to pick a fight with Tsurugi. As Tosuga is looking back at Kiyoshi, was like, you fought Tsurugi Hijiri? Like the cross paladin? We then hear Toji saying, come on, we're leaving, like very, very soon. And this is where Tosuka thanking Kiyoshi once again for everything that he has done. But Kiyoshi is not, like, he doesn't want to take the things because he didn't really think he did much. But it didn't matter, because at the end of the day, Tosuka says, listen, the next time we meet, you gonna be a cross paladin and I'm finna be a grand cross, as that's a promise that's been made for both of them. They then shook on it, and then we pan right back to Naraku City, where we're seeing Kari bloodied up. That's because she's out here fighting this fucking, based on the looks of it, it seems like he's a high level demon. But yeah, he looks badass as fuck right now. But he's not interested in her. He's interested in fighting the strongest one, like the strongest in this city. She then gets a highlight that this guy is fucking tough, but she don't care because she makes a promise that she gonna hold this shit down until Kiyoshi gets back to becoming a Grand Cross. This is where we see Nihon and Jack, like, in the background fucking shaking their ass off, not helping for shit. Nihon then gets to ask Joe if he can't do the same shit that he did to Tsurugi, but Jack's like, I don't even remember any of that shit went down. So the demons spot those two in the background and it begins to start pursuing them, asking if they're the strongest. Him being fast as fuck, Akari is not able to match up the speed with the demon to reach there in time to save them. So meanwhile, when these two are freaking out, we now see that 7-7 tattoo in the bottom left corner. So you already know who he is. As he crashing down one shot in the fucking demon, he stood back up, highlighting, hey, I'm back. You know what I'm saying? Everybody rushed in to hug him because it's been a fucking week without him. And they asked if he's officially a Grand Cross. He pulled that shit out. Yep, officially a Grand Cross. As everybody is excited that he officially become a Grand Cross, they say let's all head back and celebrate. As they're heading back, Kiyoshi gets to mention that there's a girl named Kusakari, says, oh, and not Mako. Akari immediately interrupts to say, oh, Mako, we were friends when we were kids. So there goes the relationship right there. As we see everybody else doing their own business, Tosuka is with Toji. Hitsugi is back in his own mansion. The butler is fucking smiling and crying because he's not a Grand Cross. And Memi is I'm thinking Memi is just sleeping. But in the demon realm, outside of that, where we see this fucking crown or some shit, that shit looks cool as fuck. In the demon realm, we hear it's time to, as we see our boy Yamada with his family just eating along, chopping along. Kid being a spoiled brat, don't want to eat this shit, but you know, mama is not having it. This is where Yamada sees on the news that the Demon Lord surface expeditions decided that these are the main targets, and Kiyoshi is now officially one of them. As Yamada starts to fucking freak out because Yamada and Kiyoshi is cool like this. And that's the end of this chapter. What do y'all think? Let me know down below.